Well, as the old saying goes, there's got to be a morning after, and here we are on the morning after our new Treasurer, Joe Hockey's first budget. Welcome, I'm John Stead, a Director here at HMH, and what I'd like to do is give you a brief overview of the budget and its implications and the major initiatives and decisions that were made. Keep it pretty simple and straightforward, and in that context, I'd like to draw your attention to my simple little funnel diagram here, which explains in a funny sort of a way what the whole budget process is about. It is one big funnel, and it's all about money coming in the top and money going out the end to the various expenditure areas where our government is required to spend the money that's allocated out of our budget. And the government, rightly or wrongly, has come to the decision that there is not enough coming in the top and or there is too much going out the other end. And what they've sought to do in this budget is to redress that situation and balance up the equilibrium between the revenue and the expenditure. So we'll just have a quick walk through the major disclosures from the budget and their implications. Firstly, in terms of business, not a lot to report here. It had been previously foreshadowed that the corporate income tax rate would drop from 30 cents in the dollar to 28.5 cents in the dollar. That has been confirmed, and that will benefit many, the great majority of our companies by number, because this particular measure relates to companies who have a taxable income below $5 million a year. Most of the small businesses in our economy fit into that category and will benefit from a reduction in the tax rate from 30 cents in the dollar to 28.5 cents in the dollar. For bigger companies, however, that reduction in the company tax rate will be directly offset because those companies will be required to pay for the paid parental leave scheme, and will be subject to a levy of 1.5% of their taxable income, so that will effectively cancel out the drop in the tax rate. Happily, there are not too many other measures relating to business. Significantly, there has been no tinkering with the superannuation regime, which has implications for people, particularly in small business, and there are no major adjustments there. A couple of minor tinkerings regarding excess contributions, where they can now be taken out and reclaimed by the contributor rather than having to pay tax at the top marginal rate, which was previously the case. The only other initiative in terms of the business situation is that the government will be offering, details yet to be announced, but there is to be a $10,000 payment available to employers who take on a worker who's aged 50 years or older, who has been on welfare payments for a period of 6 months or more. More to come on that in due course. So that's really it from a business point of view, not a lot to report. If we then turn to perhaps the expenditure side of the budget and of the funnel, the major expenditure areas for the federal government have always been welfare payments and health. And in terms of welfare, pension payments, family benefits, unemployment and related benefits, and in terms of the health system, of course, funding our Medicare system. And these are the two big areas which will have the biggest impact, I guess, in terms of trying to balance up the equation here. So in terms of welfare and age pensions, it's been talked about prior to the budget that the pension age is going to be extended out to 70 years, and that will happen some way out. But there will also be an alteration to the assets test for pensioners and some tweaking there as to obtaining access to pensions and the amount of the entitlements. The second big area is that of health, and there have been again talked about before the budget the possibility that visits to the doctor would have to be paid for, and what has been announced in the budget overnight is that there will be a $5 charge that the health rebate that's provided by the government will be reduced by $5 on each consultation, and doctors will be able to charge up to $7 for a medical consultation. So that will have an immediate impact in that our medical system will no longer be completely free. In terms of families, there are some changes to various of the family tax benefits that are available, where thresholds have been changed, income levels have been changed, those types of things. So there will be a bit of a squeeze on families with kids, but that's part of the, I guess, the unavoidable situation which Joe Hockey described beforehand, where everyone has to share in the heavy lifting. The other big change that's been announced and well and truly foreshadowed before the budget is the tax hike for high income earners, and it was announced in the budget that for taxpayers earning in excess of $180,000 a year, they will be subject to a 2% levy on their earnings above that $180,000 threshold. So it's not on the whole taxable amount, it's where the taxable income is greater than $180,000 and the levy will be on the amount in excess of that $180,000 threshold. So the high income earners, so-called, in the economy will be subject to that levy, including, happily, the politicians this time round. They'll get stung with it as well. And it was also announced that some of the generous benefits that they have, including their lifetime travel arrangements, are going to be pruned back over a number of years as well. So, significantly, there has been a lot of tweaking to the welfare system, the health payment arrangements, as we've mentioned, which will also flow on to pharmacy, and of course this much talked about levy on high income earners. Again, not a lot in it for business. Good to see the corporate tax rate coming down, which will make us more competitive in relation to other countries. But all in all, a budget probably with no great surprises, and happily, as always, and certainly in Melbourne here today, the sun is shining again and we all move on. So hope that's been of some help in understanding what's gone on. Of course, if you do have any queries in relation to the measures announced in the budget, the impact they may have on you personally or on your business, please feel free to give us a call on the number below, and we'll happily answer any queries you may have. Thanks for your time.